Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Nation. Kayak Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition. It's your boy Ox Pippin, aka Ox Fishing. Don't come over here tripping. Hey, hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Nation. Kayak Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Nation. Kayak Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Nation.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to KBN Live. Hope everybody had a great Memorial Weekend and is enjoying this Monday with their family, but hope everybody also took a minute to remember what this weekend is all about, remembering our fallen soldiers that give us these freedoms we get to enjoy. So welcome. I wasn't sure what the audience would be like tonight, Ryan, with being a holiday, but anyone that did take the time, we appreciate you for sliding on in here.
Rolling the dice tonight, Jeff. We're rolling the dice.
Rolling the dice. Proud to welcome in Matt Scotch. We've had Matt on before. Matt, thanks for taking time to get in here and visit with us about what's going down. We're in the official Texas swing of kayak fishing, I guess you'd call it, with a couple big events coming up. So
it looks like Texas is swinging back at us pretty hard by the state of some of the lakes we're heading to.
I'm saying.
Make sure you have a 4-wheel drive and booties and park. I would park your vehicle. Yeah.
All right. Bet. Okay, you heard the man.
Yeah,
I would park your truck above the water line, like a couple feet at least, before you take off and go fishing.
Oh my gosh!
I think Billy Bowden's in the comments. I think he's down there already. One of my fellow
Billy's been messaging me all weekend. He is ready to throw down.
Nice.
All right.
I'm
trying
sure.
To go play golf.
Rayburn's full of bass, man. So even flooded, somebody's gonna figure.
Well, I don't know if Rayburn itself is full of bass anymore. If it's like the surrounding yards and stuff that have the bass in them, but we're gonna see.
Yeah. That body of water they call Sam Rayburn.
Be fishing in the streets of Jasper.
Hey, Jasper is home for me, so I figured Jasper, Texas is probably gonna treat me about the same.
Yeah.
You might like it there, man.
I've never, honestly, man, I've been to Texas several times. I've not liked it ever one time. we tend to have a pretty good little showing in Texas, and I hope that continues.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Well, Matt,
what are the chances Cody Milton gets stuck? That's all I need to know.
100% chance.
Incredible. Highly likely.
Higher than the water.
About as high as Willie Nelson and Snoop Dogg.
Fair enough.
I got you. Yeah, we're going to talk about both lakes, Sam Rayburn and PK coming up. But before we do that, tell us what you've been up to, man. How's the guide business going as COVID winds down a little bit?
So guiding on the Brazos has been a little slow for about the past month because with all the rain we've been getting, we really have all the dam releases and everything. It hasn't really been at a safe water level to put people on. So guiding on the Brazos has just been kind of like, when we can get on, we've been doing it, but there hasn't been a lot of opportunity to get on. And about the past 3.5 weeks, kind of like I'd alluded to you guys, like I kind of had like gout issue in my foot. So was kind of dealing with that and not wanting to take any more trips, just because it's been hard enough just kind of get around and everything. And it's a liability when you have people on the water and you can't really perform like a rescue in that sort of situation. Or you had to like swim or do something in the river. And so, like I said, while my foot's been healing, I've been kind of slow to, to push getting any more trips right now. But that's kind of what I've been up to. Fished a local tournament in Texas last weekend down on Lake Amistad. Ended up coming first in that. Caught big bass, and that was pretty cool. It was kind of like the first time I'd really been out in a while fishing. Like I said, was with a foot issue. So it was nice to be back on the water and catch some fish, win a tournament. Get a little momentum going.
The way things should be. On the water,
Yeah,
winning tournaments.
It feels right. Feels normal. Things feel normal again.
And you were posting pictures of that lake, and it was like dry, like there was no water.
Yeah,
in
so I have a lot of experience on Lake Amistad. I grew up about an hour from there in a town called Rock Springs, and Amistad was like the only body of water out there. So I spent quite a bit of time, bass fishing on that lake, and all the places I spent, all the time I bass fished out there, everything I fished was way up on the bank dry. I mean, the lake was 50 feet low. And so whole entire bays where, I'd spent years fishing at, they didn't even have water in them. So I had to scramble really quick to try to put a different pattern together somewhere else, and just kind of got a little lucky, hour by hour figuring things out between practice and tournament, and finally kind of ran into the right fish right
So
before the
granted,
tournament ended.
Texas is like its own separate country, but how is one lake completely bone dry and the other one is literally pouring over the dam? How does that work?
Well, like you said, I mean, quote unquote, different country. Del Rio is on the border of Texas and Mexico. So you have Del Rio on the Texas side and you have Acuna on the Mexican side. And they have the rights to 50% of the water out of Lake Amistad. So the Mexican, government pulls a lot of that water out of the lake for crop irrigation and whatever purposes, city water, whatever else they need it for. So they don't care about bass fishing. Bass fishing isn't important to them. Water is, and they're just going to drain that lake dry until, there's no water left. And sadly, the water isn't falling in the right watershed for it to fill up Amistad and Falcon Lake. So Amistad is at 51.9% full right now, and Lake Falcon is at 23% full right now.
Oh my god!
So,
Wow.
So the lakes on the border, while they are famous bass fisheries, they're in dire situation right now as far as water is concerned.
That's crazy.
Does Falcon face the same issue? Do they get water pulled?
Yeah, they do. Anything that's on the border is shared water between the countries. So between Mexico and the United States, just like it would be at St. Clair, where you have Canada on one side and Detroit on the other. They're both going to be pulling from that water.
That's a very good comparison. You've got Canada and Detroit compared to the U.S. and Mexico.
Yeah, very similar. Very similar. You know what's funny though? You think of Texas. You said St. Clair. One of the pictures I saw you posted from you were releasing a fish or something down there in Amistad. The water was so blue it looked like St. Clair. Is that how it is?
No,
down there?
It's absolutely gorgeous water. But I found some more stained water to fish. Some stuff the wind had been blowing on and kind of turning up the bank a little bit. But yeah, the water down there is gorgeous. Like one of my fish, I was twitching a worm in the grass, and I'm watching it twitch across the grass, and I literally watched the fish flash on it and eat it. I saw it eat with my eyes before, I saw my line move or anything. And that was a really cool thing. It was probably my best fish in the morning, and kind of got me going because I was not having a good morning that day. But the water there is beautiful, man. I absolutely love fishing there. PK is really similar. PK has some gorgeous water.
Yeah, people sleep on the diversity of Texas, I think. Everybody thinks just shallow, dirty water, flipping cover, that kind of deal, but it's not that everywhere.
That's more of a East Texas thing. And as you move west, it's more rocky, clear. So,
what are the chances that you win PK? Let's go ahead and get this out of the way, Scotch.
Well, I don't want to jinx myself. But
I've never known you to be humble, so don't start today. What are the chances you take this thing home?
I fished on the lake one time this year, and that was in a bass boat. I took a buddy out fishing. him and a couple
97%.
family members. So I've been on the water one time. I wanted
This
to get
year.
out. Yeah, one time this year. And I wanted to get out before it went off limits, but I was having that issue with my foot, and that's how bad. That's how you know the foot situation was bad. It kept me off the water from practicing, and I really wanted to go out there, and just didn't get the opportunity to. So, I've fished it for about 6 years now, and it took me about like 4 years before I really had like a feeling for the lake. So I'm just kind of going to roll with history and, hope that I run into some fish somewhere along the way. I mean, there's not a lot else I can do at this point. And since I'm going to be at Sam Rayburn, I'm going to lose a day and a half, I think, of practice time. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
right
I
there.
think you can
Be right there with
you can over practice for PK. PK is not the type of lake that's going to set up where you're going to find something super special and it's just going to hold up for like 3 or 4 days. You're going to have to hunt each one of those fish individually, like every single day. So I don't know. I'm not super worried about like not getting there or not finding the secret spot, because I personally don't think there is one. You just have to go out there and fish and run into the right fish.
I don't know if Cliff or Clifton is on the chat, but they goaded Guillermo into calling a shot to say he was going to beat you. So you got to call your shot as well live.
Well, call my shot like what?
That you're going to win.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm just not that type of person. I think I remember G saying something about he wanted to beat Scotch, and I mean that's cool, and like I get that, and
he's just messing. It's all in good fun, man.
Yeah. I hate to give anybody any bulletin board material or like put a foot in my mouth or anything like that. So I do. I can do it naturally enough as it is. So like I try to be cognizant of those things and try not to do them purposefully.
Oh shit! I can't wait till we interview you after Possum Kingdom. You're like, I told y'all I was gonna win this. There was no chance I was losing that one. Now, I think obviously you and G are probably the names that jump out the most going down there, just because of the experience that you have on the water. I think probably Sanderson is the guy to watch on Rayburn if you're picking favorites, but as well as anybody, when you get a national field coming to your own backyard, a lot of eyes look at things in a completely new light. So it's really hard to win on your own water, which doesn't make
really
any
tough.
sense at all.
Really tough. Yeah, I mean, that's what made it really special that G and I both had good tournaments on the Trinity earlier in the year in that KBF series that came to town.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Because it is so tough to do well when it is. I mean, you've obviously done well when the tournaments have been around, like in your neck of the woods, but it's not easy to do that, I mean, it's
But
easier.
dude, I get wrecked on Chickamauga. Every national event that comes on Chickamauga, I cannot put the puzzle together. On Gunnersville, I still can't get like a big win in a national tournament. I can get second or third or whatever, but I can't close the door on one in the backyard. It's so hard to do.
Yeah. Well, they'll have a big tournament there in the springtime one time, and you'll get on the smallmouth up there.
Let us pray. Let us pray.
One day.
When you ask me if I will win that one, I will tell you with 1,000% certainty. Yes, I will.
Yeah.
That's the only one I'll bet on. That's it.
If there were still smallmouth in Possum Kingdom, you would have an opportunity. But it's going to be a large amount.
So I met this lady in Nashville about a month and a half ago, I guess. And she's from Texas, singer-songwriter, and they have a house on Possum Kingdom. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I was like, we're going there for a big tournament, later on, kind of early summerish. And she's like, what kind of tournament? And I was like, a bass tournament. And she's like, you're going to Possum Kingdom for bass? And I was like, oh, shit. I thought I was. What are you saying?
No, it's a great bass lake.
right.
That lady just doesn't bass fish, apparently.
Good. She scared me, dude. I was like, man, come on. We just got off Louisville. Now you're going to break my heart on Possum Kingdom?
No, I've been kind of, just on Facebook, just like looking at, fishing reports and stuff. and just seeing stuff people post, like on Fishing Texas and put, just like public posts, and they're catching them out there. So I
Good
expect
deal.
I don't expect things to change too much. The lake might get a little muddy, but I don't think it's gonna, slow the fish down.
So these two lakes we're going down to fish, they're on completely different river systems. Like one is going to be
Totally different river systems. Yeah,
ridiculously flooded. The other one is going to be kind of
it's
normal.
full.
Okay.
It's gonna be full pool, which is
Okay.
not always normal for this lake. Like normally this lake can fluctuate a little bit. It can kind of go up and down, but the past few years it's been up pretty good. So
Gotcha.
uh,
All right.
it should be good. The water temps aren't real high yet. They're in the mid 70s for the most part. So I mean, it hasn't been hot enough to really force the fish to go like offshore or anything like that, in my opinion.
I've listened to some of the pros talking lately, and they've said this is like the most extended spring they've ever been a part of, as far as every lake they've gone to in this part of that latitude of the United States, all the way over to Alabama. It's like the fish don't know where they're at yet. They're still kind of in spring mode. They're not all the way out in summer mode, and it's June almost. So same way in Texas, it sounds like, or at least parts of Texas.
We've been having really nice weather. I mean, these storms and all this rain and everything has actually kind of kept the hot days away. And I mean, we've been having a lot of 70. I mean, it's 70 degrees right now. So we've been having a lot of like mid 70, low 80-degree days. And I mean, the day not getting super hot has kind of kept the lakes a little bit more mild temperature. And I mean, that's kept the fish up shallow a little bit longer than they typically would be. I mean, and Rayburn and in PK, they should be kind of moving offshore pretty good right now, but I don't know if that'd be the case for either one of these tournaments.
Down here, we had kind of a cold, obviously a colder spring, but we had some big floods too, and it kind of knocked the spawn back almost one moon phase. So we just had this full moon last week.
Yeah.
One of our local guys was posting on our TVKA page. He's like, "Hey, I've got this 8-pounder on bed. I can't get to eat." And then he went back out the next day and caught her. But I mean, we still have big fish on bed in 80-degree water right now in Tennessee, which is nuts.
I'm not gonna say you won't find that. You won't. I doubt you're gonna find that on Rayburn. That's so far south.
I'd say you're not gonna find it now on Rayburn. You'll be in treetops.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
But on PK, you might. I mean, just because the water is so clear, and on the south end of the lake, like you can see down 10 feet in some places, and so you might be able to find one straggler way down on the south end of PK, but when I took my friend fishing, what was it, that one time I went to PK, it was probably 2 months ago, and I was on the south end of the lake. We pulled into a pocket. Water temp was 55 to 57, and we pulled into that pocket, and in the back there was probably 30 of them locked on bed, and 55 to 57 degree water 2 months ago. So I mean, to think
Texas
that there's a
fish
whole
get in
bunch.
a hurry.
They did. Some of those fish did. I mean, what it really was in that spot, I think, is just the clear water and the sunny day kind of beaten down, and that area was just getting right. And so those ones that were ready were, they were being kind of pulled like a magnet to that spot.
Yeah.
Inches wise, what do you think it's going to take to win each tournament? What's your guess?
I think you're going to need low 90s both days on Sam Rayburn, and I think you're going to need to break 90 and catch upper 80s the second day on PK.
Okay.
I think that PK is going to be tough to be consistent. I think there's going to be great fish caught. You're going to see a lot of 23-inch bass caught on Possum Kingdom.
Whoa, really?
You're going to see a lot of them. The
Okay.
PK is a fantastic fishery. It's going to show out. There's going to be some people catch their personal bass on PK.
Awesome.
Best bass definitely on PK. But it's going to be tough to be consistent. It's my thing. They're there, and there's no rhyme or reason, or there's no one spot on the lake that's really better than the others. I mean, you can catch them from the dam to the very northern boundary and everywhere in between. So,
Sweet.
in a lake like that, I mean, it could happen anywhere, and anybody could stumble onto the right fish, and like I said, you're gonna have to catch them fish by fish. So you're not gonna pull up on any one spot and just crush them there. It's not gonna happen like that on PK, in my opinion.
So on PK, you said that the fish are still kind of in between, not really full summer mode yet. You think there's going to be a pattern or lure dominate, or you think people will be able to catch them on a variety of things, or are going to have to catch them?
Major variety. It's going to be junk fishing like crazy. I mean, variety of baits are going to work. There's a lot of fish in there. There's going to be a lot of fish spread out. There'll be fish. You'll be able to catch them from like a foot to like 25 feet, I'm sure, and everywhere in between. Just depending on what the conditions are like, if it's real sunny, if the water's real clear, if the water's real muddy. So, you got to deal with the conditions, but the lake is loaded with bass, and I think some people are going to have a really good time out there. It's not easy. It's not always easy lake, but it's got a lot of bass in it. There's no reason anyone should go out there and like zero or anything like that.
Shit!
It's got.
You just jinxed me.
I might have jinxed myself, but what I'm saying is like the lake has a very healthy population of bass. Like if you get out there and you're not figuring it out right away, like just keep your head down. They're in there, trust me.
So you're saying if the KBBT had the Elite 8 on PK, Conrad wouldn't skunk? Is that what you're saying?
He wouldn't skunk there.
All right, there you go. You heard it, folks. Put KBBBT out there next year. Get it on.
That's like the WWE, in my opinion.
That is a very good comparison. Oh shit!
Zing!
All right, Chase, make the meme. Go. Let's go.
Yeah, go. Oh, that's too much. That's too much. Well, yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to be at Possum Kingdom, even though I was qualified. So I'll be cheering for both of you boys to do well, and hopefully, we'll be interviewing.
Do you want to just stick around? I mean, it's just about 5 hours, 6 hours away.
I know.
It really is a gorgeous place, and I'm sure you're going to be up for the Bassmaster Classic, right?
No, I can't. I gotta go. I gotta work. I gotta go back to work.
Okay.
I took half the week off to hit Sam Rayburn, and couldn't do both. Couldn't swing.
You're
both.
too good for this,
Gotcha.
Jeff. Quit work.
I know.
We're professional podcasters. Why are you still working?
You wouldn't believe that my mortgage company wouldn't take a travel bottle of Western Sun for payment this year.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, but gonna miss it. It sucks to miss it, but I'll be pulling for everybody down there. But I am gonna be at Rayburn, so I'll be there Wednesday night or Thursday morning.
I almost wish like you would have known like the conditions ahead of time, and you could have picked PK over Rayburn just due to the conditions. I wish Rayburn was lower so it could really show out. I think that it being flooded, not that it won't show out, I think it's going to make it really challenging for people. And frustrating at the same time. Like I hear the spiders and ants and snakes and all that. I hear it's just a mess down there right now.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Yeah, not so much.
Like I'm not a fan of, ever since the Chickamauga debacle a couple years ago, I'm not a fan at all of trying to fish historic floods. Like I'm just, it's hard for me to like get hyped up and get out of bed for that. You do make me more excited about fishing PK. And if I didn't fish Sam Rayburn, I was not going to drive all the way out there just to fish PK and turn around and come back. So, I mean, I'm glad that Sam Rayburn's happening, because I wouldn't have taken off 10 days to go make this happen.
Yeah. When I thought it was going to be canceled, I was going to try to switch my vacation days and maybe get a couple days off the next week and go to PK instead. But Bass told me they wouldn't extend the deadline even though I was qualified. And I was like, wait a minute.
Bass doesn't extend deadlines?
I was like, they've extended every deadline to every tournament until just now. But hey, rules is rules. Rules is rules.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Maybe next
At least they're taking this one serious. I can't wait to see how Bass rolls out the red carpet for this event. I'm looking forward to seeing a real venue and a show put on. I can't wait. Hopefully we turn a corner here.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I think they're gonna do a good job. Like I know a lot of people kind of like behind the scenes have been pretty critical of the job and kind of what they do, percentage, the check they take, and everything like that. But like we've given a lot of kayak organizations a lot of time to get things right, and bass, I feel
You're
like
not
they
wrong.
deserve a little bit of time too. I mean, give them a little bit of time to work things out. Last year was a challenging year for a lot of people, so give them a little bit of time, and I think hopefully they'll do what we all expect, and
Yeah.
help highlight kayak fishing the way we all
I
want it
mean,
to
they
be.
have the platform to do it. Out of all
Yeah,
three, they're the ones that have the biggest set of tools in the toolbox to make it happen. So I'm looking forward to that.
and they have a big
Yeah.
audience too. I mean, a bunch
Oh
of
yeah.
people that fish that don't pay attention to kayak fishing watch Bassmaster or watch bass fishing, and those people, they're just kind of like a lot of us when we got into kayak fishing. They're just finding out about it when they see it or hear about it, and so to get it in front of new people that don't really know about kayak fishing is always great.
Well, even the FLW deal for like the 6 months that was a thing, like when we were on FLW Live, a lot of my bass boat buddies from all over the Southeast, once you were on FLW Live, it's like, okay, like now you're legit. Like it was a joke before,
Yeah,
but because you were on a web stream, now it's actual sport. So I think they can, Bass offers the platform to kind of maybe turn some people's perception, not from our side. Like obviously we do this enough to know what's going on, but a lot of the big boat guys still kind of like scoff at kayak fishing. So I think that would kind of help legitimize the angler skill set in the world of bass fishing.
Yeah, and I see,
absolutely.
they got guys like Patrick Malone's in the comments. I know they got Patrick. They've got Tyler Cole, other tournament directors. If they'll listen to those guys that are actually kayak anglers and involved, they'll get them on the right track. They had Steve O in there for a little bit, and he tried to help them as well. But if they'll listen to the anglers, they'll get it on the right track.
Taking the feedback and doing something with it. Scotch mentioned like we've had organizations that have taken years and years and years and years that didn't heed that feedback, and they didn't acknowledge it until it was kind of the corner was already turned and there was something else that was doing it the right way. Like Bass is new, they are new, and they have a pretty good framework on what it takes to run successful big tournaments. Like there's neighbors they can look at and see what they're doing with their house and kind of make some changes. So I hope that they do. I want to see that. And I would like, honestly, and I want you to weigh in on this, Scotch. What's your opinion of the pay structure that Bass offers now, paying down whatever it is, 30 or 40 places? Do you like the more top-weighted pay structures, or do you like the kind of participation trophy, here's $400 to get back home or whatever?
Um, I used to like the top weighted thing. I always thought it was cool to chase the big check. But the more that this kind of goes on, I do kind of like paying down the field and giving more people a little bit of a piece of the pie. It keeps more people like energized. It keeps more people in the game. And I mean, we kind of see it as the year goes on. I mean, everybody starts the year off all excited, and we get 150 people at the first two or three tournaments, and as the year goes on, attendance falls off. People get tired, they get burnt out, whatever it is. So being able to give everybody a little bit of money that being able taking on $500 when you didn't have a great tournament but you did okay. It's still like, it salvages the tournament a little bit. It salvages the trip a little bit. You still probably lost money, but at the same time, it took the sting out of it. And so, it's helpful, for more people to kind of get a piece of that pie.
And
Not and
the
I
bottom
do
pays
like
for the top. Like that's how these tournaments work. The bottom pays for the top. Like if you make it like the top 25 list or whatever, those are usually see those people consistently taking home some money, and it's not those people that keep driving the growth of the sport. It's the new people gaining traction, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, we're not the Elite Series, obviously, but the Elite Series pays way down just to help mitigate expenses, I mean, if you didn't get a check for 50th place, those guys couldn't keep going. We're not there, but still, a couple $100 helps.
It's expensive, and it's expensive. I mean, gas is going up. I mean, everything's going up. I mean, it's not just gas right now, but it's like everything's inflated. So Yeah, anything you can get back definitely helps. So right now, I mean, I do like to see kind of like the field get paid out a little bit, and if that means that the top check isn't 35,000, it's 25,000, then I mean, so be it. I mean, I'm one of those people. I try to be happy with anything I win, and just be grateful that I get to go out and go fishing. You know.
Yeah. Katie had a good comment, Ryan. I don't know if you saw that. Commented on the Hobie power move and the big bass they have. That they don't put. They're more of a top heavy pavement, but they do have those extra things like the power move and the big bass pod.
Believe me, I know. I've got that $400 sitting over there in the corner. It did make it sting a little bit less, just a little bit less.
Yeah, and somebody else, Ethan Brett's, even the giveaways and gifts help too. So yeah, I mean, if you have a bad tournament and pull a $200 item,
Oh no, without a doubt. Yeah,
it
you
helps.
get a Yeti cooler or anything like that. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, good stuff. All three are doing better. Even the much maligned on this page, KBF is doing better this year and doing things over there. So.
I really like that they're kind of putting on, like an official kind of sit down. Like I think they had food trucks and stuff at the last event. Like bringing in that kind of stuff, and I preach on that all the time. Like the social aspect of things, like let people hang out and spend some time together. Like coming to Texas, I plan on trying to hang out with as many of the the out west folks as I can while I'm out there, because we don't get to do that, very often. I know Scotch and Guillermo and Joseph, they'll get out this way some, but we don't really see each other but maybe 3 or 4 times a year. So you gotta try to make that stuff count. That being said, is there a tight ends near Possum Kingdom, Scotch?
There's not one near PK, but
Okay.
you probably find something closer to the Bassmaster venue.
All right. So be
Sad-
it. I'll be
sad-
I'll be late on day 2 of the tournament.
Cue Lambert sad face.
I'll
But
figure it out.
I mean, there are a bunch of beautiful tight ends out there on the boats that are going to be going back and forth. So,
Oh boy.
Good stuff. Well,
I've got blinders on when I'm on the water, Scotch. I'm solely focused on the tournament. Come on.
you might need those at PK.
Josh Evans said he's been on the hunt, Ryan,
Oh,
and he also commented earlier. He said, "What's up with those travel bottles of Western Sun?"
Dude,
We've got
I'm bringing the lemon and the blueberry, Jeff, to our house. Josh is staying in Lufkin. Is that where you're staying, Josh? He got a hotel for Rayburn, and the country club bar is between our house and Lufkin.
Okay.
So we're gonna probably find ourselves there a time or
meet
two, I
up.
would say.
And one thing that's never happened, Ryan, is I've never met Josh Evans in person. So I'll be happy
Really?
to shake
You're
the
missing
man's
out,
hand.
buddy. You're
Be happy
missing
to
out.
shake the man's hand. So we have a good time on the socials. So be good.
I hope you get to see him lick a fish. That's probably
Oh.
one of the most impressive things I've ever seen on Kentucky Lake. He literally put his tongue onto a fish that he caught.
probably just walk out in the road and grab one by the time we get there.
That's true. That is true.
So let's talk about that for a little bit, Matt. I mean, Rayburn, we joked about it earlier about it being flooded. How do you see it breaking down for folks? Well, I mean, how's that thing going to fish?
I think it's going to be tough. I really do. I think the Rayburn's going to be a challenge. I mean, it's a 114,000 acre lake and it's 10 feet high. So just imagine how many acres of water there is now. I mean, it's a daunting lake in a kayak. I mean, the 2 times I put in and fished it before, when you put in, you can't see across to the other side of the lake. And so, I mean, it's a giant lake, a lot of water to fish. I think you're just going to have to pick an area and try to figure it out there. That's probably my best advice for anyone.
So what do you think access is going to be like on Rayburn? Because that's what we've seen a lot of is most of the ramps on the lake are closed, but there's water everywhere. Also, I've heard that there's water that's all the way up to the bridges now. So, like, if you launch somewhere, you can't get under a bridge to get to that next area. How do you think that's going to affect this tournament?
It's going to make it challenging. Like I said, it's going to be part of the thing that makes it tough for a lot of people. Places that, typically hold fish, they might not even be holding in, I mean, your grass beds and stuff like that. They might be so far out of play, that the fish just aren't relating to them. It's going to be interesting. It's hard to say with me not being down there and not actually seeing or fishing yet. but like I said, I just don't think it's going to be easy, and whoever wins, it's definitely gonna they're gonna have earned it, because you're gonna have to get out there and unlock something that is definitely going to be hidden amongst the flooded forests and bushes. And
Do you think it levels the playing field?
yeah, big time, because I mean it takes out, like, I have a bunch, I say a bunch, but I have enough history there that I would probably run into them on one of those spots. And now, like, a lot of that stuff is like not even, it's kind of like Amistad, it's not in play because of the conditions. So you have to figure something else out and just figure it out on the fly, kind of thing.
There you go, guys. There's a live scene of the water lapping over the walls of the dam.
That's not a good thing, generally speaking.
No.
I think dams are actually made to to have a little bit of wiggle room at the top.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. That is wild stuff.
Holy shit. Okay. All right, so don't fish near the dam. Pro tip.
Yeah. It's coming over the top of PK too, but like PK is not designed to hold over like 100 foot, so, or over 100%. So like anytime it gets up, they let it out. But I'm pretty sure Rayburn's design, it's Corps of Engineer Lake, so a lot of times the Corps of Engineer bodies of water are designed to hold a little extra water. So hopefully,
we definitely got the extra water. When are you getting down there?
I'm gonna head that way tomorrow. Probably get there with enough time in the evening to drive around and maybe scout a ramp or two, or a road or two that might get into the lake somewhere.
Oh shit!
Like
Launching out of a treehouse.
I have no idea what to expect when I get there. I really don't.
Where are you staying at?
Me and Mel Ash got a hotel over by Castle Boykin. So I think we'll be just staying over there. It's kind of mid-lake. It kind of put me in like just a lot of, good areas to fish at. So hopefully the bridge isn't underwater. Can drive back and forth right there. But
somebody earlier today said the water was hitting the bottom of the bridges.
I mean, I believe it.
Yeah, they're not underwater. It's just tapping the bottom.
Can you launch over the side of a bridge? Is that we need to get AJ on here for some clarification on where we can launch at, like Walmart parking lots, like what, I don't know.
We should send
and if you can't paddle or pedal to the water and you can't portage over, what if you are fishing a place that is now landlocked, or so to speak, because of a bridge or something? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, there's definitely going to be some technicalities, and I don't know. Like, I just kind of always err on the side of caution with that stuff. Like, why, when, if it's just going to be taken away from you or be, brought up and marred in controversy. So, I don't know. It's just easier to not fish.
We'll go shotgun like start. We'll go shotgun start from the one open ramp. See what happens.
That would be epic. Yes.
Yeah.
Can we use live bait on this one?
I mean, that's how we used to do them, Jeff. I mean,
yeah. Remember Matt, the very first Broken Bow event, you won and then didn't win. I remember that one.
Yeah,
It was shotgun start like that, all from one ramp. It was about 100 dudes taking off. It was pretty wild.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they did it like that the first 2 years.
Yeah. It was a good time.
Jeff brought up we should allow motors for this one so you can get way back in the bushes.
I don't think that's going to help you get back in the bushes.
You don't think so?
I'll tell you what it'll help is Matt mentioned how big the lake was, and looking on the map, I didn't appreciate it until I got Google Earth out and I looked at a ramp that was on the west side of the lake, and I thought, well, I'll just go across to this bay on the other side that looks pretty good, and it was 6 miles one way. Just across the main lake. I said, nah, I don't think so. I don't think
the south side, the highway's closed down there, so a lot of the ramps on the south side of the lake are just completely out of play. So if you were planning on fishing one of those, you would have to cross from the north side or launch in, somebody's field.
And here's another thing to think about too for everybody that is driving down. If you are wanting to launch off like forest roads and stuff like that, you need to have 4-wheel drive. Like, there's no cell phone service around the lake, and if you get stuck on one of those roads, no one's gonna be able to help you. So, bring tow straps, bring chains, bring your 4-wheel drive vehicle, or load up in your buddy's 4-wheel drive vehicle, because the roads around the lake they're wet too and saturated too, and it's not a guarantee that you're going to be able to drive down one of those roads and turn around, or be able to get back after it's been raining on it all day either. So just don't bring your 2-wheel drive vehicle if you can not do that. Just due to the conditions.
Jeff's station wagon is all-wheel drive, so I have supreme confidence in Jeff.
Hey, my station wagon's a monster. It's a monster.
All-wheel drive is good, man. It doesn't matter if it's 4 or all. Just make sure all 4 wheels spin. But, 2-wheel drive will get you stuck on that East Texas red clay pretty quick.
But on a serious note, I mean, when people are coming down for this thing, especially the newer guys, make sure you let somebody know where you're going and when you plan to be back. If you can, it may be a good idea to fish in pairs. That way you have somebody else with you in case something crazy does happen. But, with conditions the way that they are, make sure somebody knows where you're at and at least can have an idea of if you need help or to go get help to get you out.
Yeah, it's going to be wild. And you said signal's bad around the lake, so you think leaderboards will not be up to date until later in the day?
They will not be up to date. Like, if you see yourself in first place,
screenshot
whatever
it, hold
time,
it.
yeah.
Posted at 7:20 a.m. Stroking.
No. If it's like 1:30, 2 o'clock, don't even count. It's going to change 20 or 30 times. I've been in that situation there back in the day, one of those KBS tournaments, and I was leading the tournament all day. Thought I had it like in the bag. And I actually quit fishing because I was having issues with my phone overheating that day, and paddled way back in just to make sure I got in on time, got my fish uploaded, and found out that I came in 5th place. Like I thought I won a tournament all day.
Found out I came in 5th.
Straight kicking the balls. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Scotch's line is never updated on the leaderboard to like the last 4 minutes. So if you think you're winning and Matt has not uploaded his fish, you're really not. So wait till the last 3 or 4 minutes.
I will upload them if I catch them really early. But if I'm out there and I'm grinding and I'm still trying to put together a decent limit, that's when you'll see me not upload my fish, because I'm just too busy trying to get a fish to stop fishing and, play with my phone.
I like to wait till I have 5 before I upload. I like to upload a limit first. Like, if I don't have a limit, then I don't give a shit. Like, it doesn't matter if I've uploaded anything or not. Like, I want to have 5 fish before I put something on the board.
I want to ask Matt about a story, see if he remembers this. I don't want to open any old wounds, but I just remember it being a remarkable story. It was on Lake Fork, and we were sitting around out there talking at the weigh-in, and you had gone out that day with a borrowed – this was in the SD card days. Borrowed a camera, caught a 85 or 90-inch limit, dropped the camera in the lake, lost the deal, came back, got your phone, went back out and caught another 90-inch limit with your phone, and they would not let you use your phone for the pictures because it had to be an SD card. And you were pretty hot. The tournament director didn't know what to do. And it's the polar opposite of now. It's everything's phones now. But they wouldn't let you. Remember that whole deal?
So I was having a similar issue with I was talking about with my phone overheating at Rayburn that one day. It was a mechanical issue that was going on with that camera. And for the first 4 bass, it took the pictures just like it was supposed to. You click on it, it focused, and it took the picture. On this 5th bass, it wouldn't. Every time I would click on it, I kept getting an error. And so after about 2 minutes of the camera constantly glitching up and not taking the photograph, the fish started getting super anxious. It was wanting to flop. You know how they get where they start to build up that pressure. That tail
it
starts
stopped
to come
breathing.
No. It wanted back in Lake Fork, and it was gonna flop back in there. So, anyways, that fish it flopped on the board when I was trying to get the camera working, and it tail punted the camera like how you'd hold a paper football. I mean, it just flicked it right out of my hand, just right into the lake, and I was in a pretty alligator area on Lake Fork, so I didn't feel like jumping in for it, but I did start over on my cell phone, and the first limit would have been about 85 inches. It wasn't quite 90, but
Okay.
in that tournament would have been a top 5, maybe 5-ish score for the day. So yeah, I mean, obviously didn't have the photographs, didn't have the SD card, all the things that they required, I didn't have. But I started over anyways because I had about 45 minutes left to fish, and I didn't want to feel down about it, because I was feeling kind of down about it. So I started over, and I caught 3 of the fish off one dock. I pulled it to a dock, and I flipped a shaky head in there, and one hit it, and I caught that one, measured it, flipped in there again, caught another one, flipped in there again, caught another one, and came back, and like there's this really nice tree in 18 feet of water right by the boat ramp. I mean, a giant tree, and I pull up, and I have it marked, so I throw up there, that worm hits the bottom, and the line takes off, and it's just like, why couldn't I catch them like this? Like, I've struggled all day to get my 5th fish. And then, like, once I lose the camera, I start catching them like crazy. But, it was all for nothing. But, I mean, you're going to have some bad tournaments. You're going to have some tournaments where things don't go your way. The brakes don't go your way. The camera doesn't flop the right way. It bounced out of the boat, not in the boat. So, I mean, I just try to, learn as many things as I can from it, and try to not repeat the mistakes I make, like losing the phone.
I just remember the story and being so impressive. You're able to grind back out and catch another limit, and we were kind of campaigning for you to be able to get those fish in somehow with the phone. And it seems laughable to think now that you couldn't get fish in with the phone, but
Yeah.
then that was just the way it was.
That year was really weird how they were kind of running it and organizing that tournament. And they had a lot of restrictions, and they were trying really hard to prevent cheating and stuff like that. And I think in the process of like trying to make it like a really well run, trusted process, they made it overcomplicated. And I think they saw that and made some changes going forward. But it was definitely an odd year.
I think that was the same tournament with the Joseph Guillermo phone call incident. Maybe the same
was.
event. Yeah.
It was
But anyway,
the same event.
I want to get too far down that rabbit hole. I just remember that story. Wanted to ask you about it with the lost camera and the comeback on the phone. But
Yeah.
We're not doing
Hopefully
that.
we don't have
We're
to
not
repeat
doing
any
that
of
the
that.
next 2 tournaments.
Yeah, we're not repeating that.
yeah,
I've got a lanyard, so hopefully we don't lose it off the lanyard.
I wasn't trying to put the bad juju on you. I just wanted to hear that story again.
Yeah. Then
As long as I don't get like
that.
snake bit or arrested, those are kind of like my two goals for the next like 12 days.
Yeah. If you do get arrested, maybe we find someone to bail you out. But
If there's an attorney on KBN, could you please drop your contact info? Thank you.
we do have there are a couple. So
We're staying with 2 cops, Ryan. I think we'll be okay. They can play some street cred.
Oh shit,
For
whatever.
you.
I'll call Harshman to bring his walkie-talkie down and see if he can get me out.
No, I said 2 cops.
Oh, that was a P, not a C. Never mind. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry, Jake. Nothing but respect for you, brother.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
we'll wrap this up.
Yeah. We've got, I tell you what, it's been a pretty good crowd tonight. I wasn't sure if anyone would watch at all with it being Memorial Day Eve, but we've had 30 or 40 people on the whole time at least, and got some funny comments going. If anyone has any more questions specifically about Rayburn or PK for Matt, before we wrap it up here in a little bit, sling them in there. We had a nice compliment from Rolando. He said, Matt is a dang hammer. You better focus on fishing or you'll get your tight end kicked. Okay.
Yeah. Trying to. Hey, I've got a formula. I can focus on both. Don't worry. Don't you worry, pal.
Yeah. Katie said she's bringing a load of Western Sun samplers. So Team Back is going to be rolling down.
Yes.
We'll see you guys down there.
And we have a house somewhere. Where's our house at, Jeff?
In, I don't know the name of the town. It starts with
Something
a Z,
with
I
a
think.
Z. Yeah, Zinfandel. No.
Zinfandel? White Zinfandel?
That's not it. That's not it.
It's up towards Lufkin. I don't know where that
Yeah,
is.
so somewhere with a Z. Anyway, we'll get together. We'll post something up, and we'll try to get some folks from Rayburn together, and then we'll do something similar for PK as well.
Yeah, I want to say Zeldana, but that's not right either.
I don't know, dude. Something with a Z.
PK is going to be good. There's a lot of striper in PK, so you'll feel right at home, Ryan.
Ooh, all right. I got my big A-rig rod sitting right here. I'm gonna bring
You'll
it and just striper
you'll-
fish.
You go down there below the spillway, like you probably catch them all day right now.
Home away from home. That's what I look for everywhere I go. They have giant flathead catfish below the spillway on Dardanelle, if anybody was wondering. Don't go there looking for bass, because that is not the spot.
Okay, wait a minute. Katie just messaged me and asked me to share this.
Uh-oh.
Team Baca has partnered up with Western Sun, and they are bringing a load of this down. So, hooray.
Yes.
Hooray,
Right.
Western Sun.
Zavala. That's where we're at, by the way. Yes.
So let's go, Katie. Fishlikeacat.com.
Woo!
Check it out. She'll be loaded up. We'll be loaded up. So if you have a bad Saturday event, we'll do something for the bad half Saturday night too.
If you have a bad pre-fishing, we can do it Friday night. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. It's gonna be a good time.
Team players.
Zavala.
Well, Scotch, thank you so much for taking the time to jump on here with us. Good
You're
luck
welcome,
at both
guys.
tournaments. Looking forward to seeing you for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it'll be good. It will be a good time. It will be good fishing at both events. I just wish for the sake of things, Rayburn wasn't so high right now. PK is going to be great. Definitely looking forward to that. So,
I have one last question to close. What do you think the chances of Clifton Allen making a splash on the national tournament scene are? Do you think he's going to be the people's champ outside of Texas?
realistically, probably 0. I mean,
Scotch keeps it real. I like it.
That is okay. All right. That's how I thought that was going to go. So I can't wait to hear Clifton's rebuttal. He may be out grilling hot dogs or something right now, but I'm sure he'll pop in the comments.
Clifton's probably like on some internet chat board right now, getting into it with some 8-year-old over a baseball card.
Well, at least it's over a baseball card. I can do that.
Oh god.
Hey, yeah, one more little announcement. I don't know if you guys saw that comment I put up. Katie, for the folks that roll with Old Towns, one thing they've been doing cool this year is they've been sending around part support to all the big events where they can get a pro there. So if you need a prop pin or a prop or anything at all, they have them available there for you.
Wow.
So,
Old Town life, baby.
Old Town life. So good stuff. If you need something, hit up anybody that you know that is with Old Town. We'll try to get you the little pieces you need. Hopefully you don't need anything, but there could be some debris in the water.
Debris, fire ants, snakes.
Hey, and what's up with the
Spiders.
floating balls of ants? Is that a thing down there?
That's a thing down here. And
Oh,
shit.
jeez.
yeah, that's something you need to keep your eyes out for.
Okay.
Like, when you come in, like, don't, anything that's on your kayak, don't put it in your truck. Because there's going to be spiders all over it. So the next day, you're going to have spiders, like, all in your vehicle. So, like, put that stuff in the bed of your truck if you can.
Okay.
Like, trust me,
I don't have a
I
truck.
woke up, I've got up the next day, got in my truck, and had, like, 30, 40 spider webs in my truck. So, just, heads up.
I was going to ask how the numbers were going to shake out by the time we get there, but I think we're done now. No one else will sign up. So 71
I
is it.
haven't signed up.
Let me see if I make it to Texas tomorrow, and then I'll sign up.
I think a lot of people were just waiting to see if the tournament was going to be canceled. And, when AJ came out and said that I think it is going to go on no matter what. I don't want to put words in tournament director's mouth, but yeah. I think you're going to get more people committing to it, knowing that the tournament will happen now.
For sure.
It's hard to make those travel arrangements and everything when you're coming from out of state, driving 10 plus hours, and you don't know if the lake's going to be on or off. So, I totally expect people to come in last second, typical kayak fishermen, and us break 100 people at this event for sure.
Awesome stuff, man. Well, it was fun. I appreciate you sliding in here on Memorial Day Eve,
Yeah.
Matt.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I tried to not have a deal tonight, and Ryan's like, hell no, we're doing this, and I'm glad we did. It was a good
Is
time.
that how that went? I don't even remember.
Last week I was like, it's a holiday, I don't know, and you're like, hell no, we're doing a show. I said,
All right. Well, hey, here we are. Good call.
Here we are. We did it. It was fun. But wrap it up. Go eat some leftovers or something, people. We'll see you guys in a few days at Sam Rayburn. We're gone.
See y'all. Let's go.